tarnished. Armed with death. This man. A slayer of gods.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another build video. I got multiple requests over the past few months to bring my Godslayer build up to date, since it has been 10 months since I made it, and indeed I could look back and see there is room for improvement and optimization. I consider this the best early game phase build in Elden Ring, as you can get this build's weapon, seal, incantations, and even talismans right from the start of the game, with minimum to no effort. For that purpose, I dedicated the last section of this video to showing you an optimized early game route that will take you from the very beginning of the game and collect all the necessary items we need for this build, as well as some of the easiest methods to deal with different bosses that guard some of these items like Commander O'Neill and the Godskin Apostles. Although you can have this build up and running before Margit the Fell Omen, it has so much progression potential, as you can continue leveling and investing, and this build will only continue to grow more powerful, making this build equally ideal for your late game and any new Game Plus playthrough. This build takes advantage of some of the strongest fire incantations in Elden Ring, the Godslayer Incantations. So what makes the Godslayer Incantations superior to other fire spells in Elden Ring? Well, most of the Godslayer Incantations like Black Flame and Scouring Black Flame have a unique characteristic of dealing up to 5% of their victim maximum HP as damage over time after their initial damage. So even if you are fighting an enemy with high fire resistance, you are still doing significantly more damage than any regular fire build. I have to point out that this damage over time, unlike the initial damage of your incantations, does not scale with phase. Instead, it is a fixed amount, about 2 to 5% of your target maximum HP. This is not necessarily a bad thing, since you can take advantage of this in your early game when you just started out and don't have a high phase investment anyway. And being able to deal percentage based damage is also useful to bypass enemies' resistance, and is equally effective against large health pool enemies in New Game Plus. It is worth noting that the damage over time effect is not exclusive to the Godslayer's Incantations. In fact, both the Black Flame Tornado Ash of War and the Godslayer's Greatsword possess the same advantageous characteristic. The Godslayer's Greatsword is one of the best colossal weapons in Elden Ring and my personal favorite. It has fast movesets compared to other colossal weapons, and deals both physical and fire damage. I particularly like the Run R1 Sweeping Slash, as it can damage multiple enemies at once, and the R2 attacks can deal high poise damage and stagger enemies easily. The weapon's Ash of War, the Queen's Black Flame, has great damage and can knock back any human-sized enemy, but it's somewhat slow, so you are likely to trade damage in order to land the Queen's Black Flame against different enemies. It also engulfs your enemies in Black Flame, dealing damage over time similar to Godslayer's Incantations. The Godslayer's Greatsword scales primarily with dexterity over both phase and strength, but by how much? That's why I created this table where I started testing the Queen's Black Flame with each attribute at different breakpoints, while logging the other two. My conclusion is that if you want to focus on the Godslayer's Greatsword damage output, you should reach the soft cap of all three stats. That's 60 points in dexterity, 50 in phase, and around 30 in strength. You might even get away with even less strength, since two-handing any weapon will multiply your strength by 1.5 when calculating your attack power. It is such a strong weapon to have, especially from early game. If you are not a big fan of colossal weapons or simply desire an alternative during your playthrough, look no further than the Black Flame Tornado Ash of War. The Black Flame Tornado is a spell-based Ash of War. This means it scales primarily with your weapon affinity. In this case, it's Flame Art. Flame Art improves weapon scaling with phase, which is perfect for us since we are running a high phase build. It doesn't matter which weapon you are using, I tested this Ash of War on almost every weapon in the game that can have it, and it's always the Flame Art affinity and phase attribute that boosts the damage of this Ash of War. However, there is good news and bad news when it comes to this Ash of War. The bad news is that you can only obtain this Ash of War from the Godskin dudes in Crumbling Farm Azula, which is little late in the game. But the good news is that you can have it much earlier in the game, as it comes already attached to the Godskin Peeler that drops from defeating the Godskin Apostle in the Windmill Village in Altus Plateau. However, you cannot change the Godskin Peeler weapon's affinity to flame art to scale it properly with face until you obtain the Red Hot Whip Blade after defeating Radagon, as well as the Black Flame Tornado itself from the Godskin Dew in Crumbling Farm Azula. It is important to point out that even though the Godskin Peeler does not come with any face scaling, the Black Flame Tornado will continue to benefit and scale with face. I did test this weapon with and without the flame art affinity at different breakpoints, and indeed it does scale with face in both cases, but obviously the flame art affinity bolsters the scaling and increases the Asher-4 damage. In patch 1.09, infusing a weapon with flame art increases the scaling of the face attribute, resulting in slightly more damage. You can apply the Black Flame Tornado to different weapons like Twin Blades, Spears, Reapers, etc. But if you are interested in getting the most out of this Asher-4, the Knight Rider Glaive and the Gargoyle's Halberd are the best weapons to accommodate this Asher-4, offering high face scaling OP with the flame art affinity. I should also mention that using a weapon with blood balls build-up or elemental damage will be ignored when using this Asher-4. If you are still looking for a reason to use this Asher-4, it does deal percentage based damage similar to the Godslayer's Sword and the Godslayer's Incantations. The damage of your incantations or sorceries in Elden Ring always comes down to which catalyst you are using to cast them. And in the case of the Godslayer Incantations, the Godslayer's Seal is the best one to use. The Godslayer's Seal boosts the effectiveness of the Godslayer Incantations by 10%. And if you are wondering whether carrying a second seal will stack up the effectiveness, the answer is yes. The Godslayer's Seal is a pure catalyst, which means it scales primarily with one attribute, in this case face. It is also a front-loaded seal, which means you get the most out of the seal between 20 to 60 face. This is perfect because this means you will get the most out of the Godslayer Incantations using the seal quite early in the game. Let's go over the incantation we are going to use for this build, starting with Black Flame. This spell is going to be your bread and butter for this build to bully your enemies from range and deal high amount of fire damage. It performs exceptionally well against large health pool enemies because of the percentage based damage it deals, as we discussed earlier. Charging the Black Flame incantation will increase its damage and cause small explosions that can damage multiple enemies in a small radius on impact. Scouring Black Flame deals slightly more damage than Black Flame, but doesn't have the range advantage that the Black Flame has. But what it lacks in range makes it up for in spread, as it can damage multiple enemies in a large arc in front of you, making this an excellent tool to deal with multiple enemies at the same time. It also retains the damage over time characteristic like most Godslayer incantations. Also similar to Black Flame, you can charge up the Scouring Black Flame to deal even more damage. Black Flame Ritual is quite unique incantation. It creates a circle of Black Flame pillars that most enemies cannot cross to reach you, allowing you to cast other incantations or use your weapon skills to finish them off. You can place one after another, which can be quite effective against large hitbox enemies. Similar to the previous incantations, you can charge it up to increase its damage and radius. We are also using Golden Vow to boost our overall damage by 15% and damage reduction by 10% for 80 seconds. Flame Grant Me Strength increases both physical and fire damage by 20% for 30 seconds. This does affect your weapons, incantations, and Asher-4. Unfortunately, as of patch 1.09, there is currently a bug that causes Golden Vow, Flame Grant Me Strength, and Howl of Shabriri to no longer boost sorceries or incantations damage. Hopefully this will be fixed soon. Black Flame's protection offers plus 35% physical damage reduction for 70 seconds. Due to the long cost of Queen's Black Flame and Black Flame Tornado, you are more often than not trading damage before you can finish casting them. Black Flame's protections would simply allow you to trade better in these scenarios. The damage negation from Black Flame's protection still stacks with Golden Vows, but Black Flame's protection effects do not stack with either Flame Grant Me Strength or Howl of Shabriri. And since Flame Grant Me Strength and Howl of Shabriri damage bonus to incantations is currently broken, you are better off using Black Flame's protection for the most part. When it comes to deciding which talismans to use for this build, you have a wide variety of options, but up until level 80, you should use Radagon's Soreseal talisman that adds plus 5 points to Vigor, Endurance, Strength, and Dexterity, to meet the requirements for the Godslayer's Greatsword while focusing the majority of our points on face to improve our overall damage. Fire Scorpion Charm increases fire damage by 12%. This affects your weapons as well as incantations. Flux Canvas Talisman increases your incantation damage by 8%. If you want to further emphasize your incantations damage, use Godfrey Icon, as it increases the damage of charged spells by 15%. Another great option you should consider from early game is the Great Jar's Arsenal Talisman. It will drastically reduce your equipment load, allowing you to equip the full Black Flame Monk set, along with the Godslayer's Greatsword, with minimum endurance investment. If you want to focus more on your weapons Ash of 4, use Shard of Alexander to greatly increase the attack bar of weapons skills by 15%. And since we are usually trading damage during these weapons skills, use Dragon Crest's Great Shield Talisman as well to further reduce the physical damage taken by 20%. It does stack with the damage negation from Golden Vow and Black Flame's protection. You can also use Ritual Sword Talisman to increase your overall damage by 10% when HP is full. For the Flask of Wondrous Physick, use the Face Knot Crystal Tear as long as your face attribute is 70 or less. If you have more, replace it with the Dexterity Knot Crystal Tear. Each adds plus 10 to their respective attribute for 3 minutes. Alongside, use Flame-Shrouding Crack Tear to boost your fire damage by 20% from all sources for 3 minutes. The armor we are using for this build is the full Black Flame Monk set. It provides great physical and elemental damage reduction and fits the theme of this build. You can farm the full set from the Black Flame Monk guarding the entrance to the Godskin Apostle boss room inside the Divine Tower in Caelid. The only problem is that it only provides 50 points in poise. So if you want to reach that sweet 51 poise breakpoint that will let you absorb most enemies' attacks without breaking your stance, replace the Black Flame Monk Greaves with the Mausoleum Knight Greaves. It will put you exactly at 51 poise without having to invest more points in endurance. The easiest farming spot is from the knight located in front of the Black Knife Catacombs in Lorenia of the Lakes. The best starting origin for this build will be Confessor or Prophet. I prefer Confessor, but you can also have it as Prophet or even Vagabond. Since you are building this from level 1, I'll go through different stages in the game and explain why we are having things the way it is. At level 50 you should have around 15 Vigor, 15 Mind, 19 Endurance, 15 Strength, 17 Dexterity, and 30 Face. We are using Radagon Soreseal for the majority of early game, which adds plus 5 points to Vigor, Endurance, Strength, and Dexterity. This way you will meet the requirement for the Godslayer's Greatsword and the Godskin Peeler Twinblade. 15 Vigor is more than enough at this point of the game when you consider you are using the full Black Flame Monk set that offers a tremendous amount of physical and elemental damage negation. 19 Endurance along with Radagon's Soreseal will provide you with enough equipment load to use Godslayer's Greatsword, Godslayer's Seal, the full Black Flame Monk set, and 2 more Talismans. If you decided to use the Great Jar's Arsenal Talisman, you will only need 13 Endurance at this point. 30 Face to be able to cast most of the Godslayer's Incantations available to us at this point, which is the Black Flame and Scouring Black Flame, as well as Golden Vow and Flame Grant Me Strength. Don't forget that you can use Godric's Rune for temporary plus 5 to all your attributes after defeating Godric in Stormveil Castle. At level 80 we are boosting Vigor to 20, Mind to 19, Endurance to 20, and Face to 50. With 50 Face along with the Face Knot Crystal Tear in the Wondrous Physick Flask, you hit the soft cap for your Godslayer Seal, which results in significant damage to this entire build. If you are planning to rush to the mountain tops of the giants, you might want to boost your Vigor to 40 instead. From level 80 to 100, we are going to work on removing Radagon's Soreseal, which means add plus 5 to Vigor, Endurance, Strength, and Dexterity. At level 125, you should have 40 Vigor, 24 Mind, and 55 Face. 40 is Vigor's soft cap, and it is important to reach this first. Here are our final stats at level 150. By no means anything I listed here is set in stone, so please change things around to fit things in your own playstyle. If you are planning to take this build beyond level 150, you can invest until you reach 60 Vigor, 40 Mind, and 80 Face. After that, invest in Dexterity until at least 60. Dexterity will not only improve the Godslayer's Greatsword damage, but also reduces your incantations casting time as well. As promised, the next section will be your early game route. However, in order to take full advantage of this guide and create a true Godslayer, you have to watch and follow the early game guide I created for the best Elden Ring start. This will give you enough smithing stones to upgrade your Godslayer seal to +19 and the Godslayer Greatsword to +9 with plenty of runes, golden seeds and secret tears. Most importantly, all this is done without having to fight anything along the way. I will leave a link for you in the description. Choose Confessor as your origin because it has the optimal stats for this build, and make sure you have the golden seed as your keepsake. Head to gate front and grab Torrent and the whetstone knife. Back to the first step, you can use the air vent to go down the beach and grab a gold-pickled fowl foot. From gate front, cross the bridge and collect another gold-pickled fowl foot from up the hill. Collect Fevor's cookbook from over here. It contains the formula for seed pots. We are not going to use it for this guide, but they are very useful tool, especially against the Godskin duels in Crumbling Farm Azula. Go to the third Church of Marika for the Flask of Wondrous Physick, and then to Fort Height for the left half of the Dexterity Medallion. Head to the Bridge of Sacrifice for the Stoneward key, and then continue your way south to pick up the Morningstar Mace from the Broken Caravan. From Castle Moon Rampart, head east and use the air vent to reach the tower. Interact with the statue and destroy the spirit turtles around to gain access to the tower and obtain a memory stone. Back to the Bridge of Sacrifice, head west and obtain the Face Knot Crystal Tear. Head to the Church of Pilgrimage for the Sacred Tear and Blood Grease. Back to the third Church of Marika and use the hidden portal behind to go to Caelid. Use the air vent in Leonard Rise to gain access to the tower for another memory stone. After that, reach Fort Faroth by using the air vent behind the minor air tree. Go inside and climb the tower to obtain the right half of the Dexterity Medallion. And then jump down for the golden rune. Watch out for the rats and jump down to grab Radagon's Soreseal talisman. Obtain Flame Grant Me Strength located behind Fort Gale in Caelid. Go to Stormhill in Limgrave and around Stormvale Castle to reach the Church of Eris for another Sacred Tear. Talk to Raya and buy her necklace from Blackguard, then give it back to her to receive an invitation to Volcano Manor. Go over here and obtain the Dexterity Knot Crystal Tear. After that, head to the converted tower and reach the top to obtain another memory stone. Grab the Academy Key behind the dragon and use the Way Gate in Laskai runes to get to South Rye Lucaria Gate. Reach the main Academy Gate and interact with the Blue Seal to Pelham Highway and head towards the Grand Lift of Dectus. If you already completed Raya's quest, she will either be waiting for you here or at Lux Ruins. Ask her to take you to Volcano Manor and talk to Lady Tanis. Open the first door to your right and go through the illusion wall. The reason we are here is to obtain the Albinauric Mask. We are going to use Rotten Breath to easily defeat the Godskin Apostles and obtain the necessary items for this build. With the Albinauric Mask, which adds a temporary 4 points to the Arcane attribute, we will have more than enough Arcane to use Rotten Breath without having to invest in Arcane at all. After obtaining the mask, teleport to Altus Plateau. From the Gazing Hill Site of Grace, climb the hill, cross the field with the mini-boss to reach Mount Gilmere. Then head up the fort past the Fireberry Lake and obtain the Fire Scorpion Charm Talisman. Back to Altus Plateau, make your way to this portal over here and use it to teleport to the other side of the broken bridge. Unlock the site of Grace below the bridge and head to the Corpus 10 shack in Mount Gelmir to obtain the Golden Vow incantation. Teleport to Fort Faroth and head west towards the White Formation. You can use the air vent next to it to go down. You can also use it to collect the smithing stones 7 and 8 up there. Now go to the Church of Blake where you will find Millicent. We are going to progress her quest along with Father Gowry to obtain Flock's Campus Talisman early on. Go to Father Gowry's shack and exhaust his dialogue. He will ask you to retrieve a golden needle from Commander O'Neill in the Swamp of Ionia. To easily handle this fight, go to Inner Ionia Site of Grace. You will notice 3 rob pools that keeps erupting. Aggro Commander O'Neill and lure him to this location. Be careful not to go too far, otherwise he will reset. Just keep luring him around these 3 pools and he will go down easily. In the last phase he will summon axe-wielding soldiers. Just stay on top of your mount and dodge them. Eventually they will lose interest in helping the commander. After defeating O'Neill, grab the needle and take it to Father Gowry. He will ask for some time, just simply restart the game and talk to him again to receive the golden needle. Take the golden needle and give it to Millicent in the Church of Blake. Talk to her and rest at the nearby grace, then talk to her again. After that she will move on to Father Gowry's shack. Go talk to her there and exhaust her dialogue. Back to Fort Faroth, equip the Morning Star Mace, apply the black grease to it and start smacking the big dragon. Reapply black grease midway, and when she has less than 20% HP, use 1 Gold-Pickled foot to receive 30% more runes. With the runes we obtained earlier from Commander O'Neill, you have enough to level to 37. Your stats should be 15 points in Vigor, 15 in Mind, 15 in Strength, 17 in Dexterity and 26 in Face. After that, go to the Cathedral of Dragon Communion in Caelid and buy Rotten Press with the remaining runes. Teleport to the Gazing Hill in Altus Plateau and head to the Shaded Castle. You want to retrieve the Valkyrie's Prosthesis from there. You will find it in a chest guarded by a Clean Rot Knight. Back to the Gazing Hill and give the arm to Millicent. If you killed her here and went back to Father Gowry and kill him as well, you will obtain the Flock's Campus Talisman, but you will be locked out of both Millicent's quest rewards. What you want to do is defeat the Godskin Apostle in the Windmill Village first. Head to the Windmill Village and make your way up, lure the Godskin Apostle behind these rocks, and as soon as he gets closer, jump up and use Rotten Press on him. This is the safest way to take him out. Simply maintain this position and refresh the rot infection until he dies. After that, rest at the nearby Site of Grace. You will find Millicent nearby. Take care of her as well, but now she will drop Millicent's Prosthesis, which is one of her quest rewards. Go to Father Gowry and obtain the Flock's Campus Talisman from him, then head to the Divine Tower in Caelid. After making your way to the basement and hopefully not dying 100 times as I did, make your way to the Godskin Apostle room past the Black Flame Monk. As soon as you enter, go left behind the pillar. This is going to be your favorite place in the next few minutes because as long as you are in this corner, the Godskin Apostle will never reach you here. He will come close and throw a useless black flame on the pillar, then battle back. When he starts moving backward like that, he is quite stuck in that animation. Now it's your opportunity. Go out of the cover and spray him with Rotten Press. Just wait in this corner while the rot eats him away. In phase 2, repeat the same steps. Wait for him to get close, then as he starts moving backward, use Rotten Press on him. You likely need a second Rotten Press cast to infect him the second time. You can use a Gold-Pickled foot at this point to receive more runes from him. This is a very easy and simple method to handle the Godskin Apostle. After the fight, go to the other room and open the chest and claim your reward. Head to the Round Table Hold and upgrade to +9. If you want to know how I managed to get Somber Smithing Stones 1 to 9, please check my early game guide. Go back to Caelid and defeat the Patriot avatar from the Flame-Shrouding character, and use it along the Face Knock Crystal tier in the Wondrous Physick Flask. After defeating Margit, equip the Fire Scorpion Charm in the new Talisman slot, and make your way to the Rampart Tower site of Grace. Jump on the next building rooftop and make your way down the cellar. Use Stonward key to remove the barrier and obtain the Godslayer Seal and the Godskin Prayer Book. Give the prayer book to Miriel, Pastor of Vows at the Church of Vows to learn the Black Flame Incantation. After that, I went to defeat Godric in just one phase, and then went to defeat Radagon as well in one phase. Since we collected 2 great runes from Radagon and Godric, we can go to the Round Table Hold and speak with Enya, and obtain another Talisman Pouch and equip the Flux Canvas Talisman. After defeating Godfrey, First Elden Lord, Golden Shade, you will obtain another Talisman Pouch. I defeated Godfrey the Grafted, located in the Golden Lineage Evergoal in Altus Plateau, and obtained the Godfrey Icon. As soon as you make it to the mountain tops of the Giants, head to the Spirit Caller Cave and obtain the Black Flame Ritual Incantation. In order to obtain Black Flame's protection, collect both sides of the Hulk Tree Secret Medallion. The left half can be found in Castle Sol on the roof of the tower, only accessible after defeating Commander Niall. The right half can be obtained from Albus found in the village of the Albinaurics, located in Lorenia of the Lakes. Use the medallion to reach Mikkel's Hulk Tree. After that, teleport to the Round Table Hold and talk to Sir Gedwin of Tyr. You will get the Using the Secret Medallions dialogue option, and after that you will receive the Black Flame's Protection Incantation. And there you have it, our complete guide on the Godslayer build in Elden Ring. I sincerely hope that you found this guide helpful in your journey through the game. Putting this guide together was no small task, but it is all worth it if it can help improve your experience in any way. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it or found it helpful, please leave a comment down below and let me know your thoughts. Your feedback means a lot to me and it will help me continue to create better content in the future. Also, if you have any suggestions or ideas for future videos, please feel free to share them in the comment section. I'm always looking for ways to improve and bring you the best possible content. Once again, thank you for watching and have a great day.